Hey, everybody. Nick Deckard here, a local agent in Ocean City, New Jersey. And I am happy to finally bring you the first episode of our new series, OC Access. Now, our first guest, and I'm very happy to have him here. He is the Director of Client Relations at Title Company of Jersey. And before that, he was an agent just like me for 12 years in Ocean City. So he knows this place like the back of his hand and knows what it takes to really do the job properly, to close a transaction, make it smooth. So he's somebody you want to have in your corner for sure. And you may not believe this, but on an annual basis, his office closes about 1,000 transactions a year. There's only about 12,000 properties in town. So they're a big player in that field. And without further ado, I'm happy to extend a warm welcome to Brent Kolmer. How you doing, Brent?
I'm good, Nick. Thanks for inviting me on.
Absolutely. I'm happy to have you here as our guinea pig, so to speak, as we launch this series. But I'm going to hit you with a couple questions to show some personality and let these people get a little flavor of you. So,
okay, yeah, sounds
ready?
good.
First thing that pops into your head: favorite ice cream flavor?
Moose Tracks.
Oh boy, good one. Favorite pizza?
Pepperoni.
Beach or bay?
Bay.
There we go, my man. What would you do if you won the lottery?
I would stop working. Yeah, I would stop working. My wife would stop working.
Would you stay here? Or would you go somewhere else?
No, I would stay here. Both. Yeah, no, I would stay here. Yeah, cool. I mean, this is my home. I mean, this is where I want to be.
Good answer. And last but not least, if there was a movie made about your life, who would play you?
Mark Wahlberg.
Hey,
yeah,
I love it. He's one of my favorites, man.
Yeah, you might as well go with the real handsome guy. It's
I know, nice and jacked, right?
Yeah, George Clooney, Brad Pitt, Mark Wahlberg.
You don't want to go with Seth Rogen? You sure?
No, I'm good. I'm good with that one.
Good. So speaking of a movie about your life, tell us a little bit about you. Tell us your story. Kind of how'd you get to where you are?
Really, I got really to where I am. I spent all my summers in Ocean City. My grandparents bought a house in Ocean City in 1958. So really, Ocean City was we came every summer. It's I moved all over the country as a kid. I guess 6 different states as a kid, and Ocean City was always home. I mean, it was always consistent. It just felt like home. And once I graduated college, I wasn't quite sure what direction I wanted to take, and I just knew I wanted to be in Ocean City. That's where I wanted to be. So that's kind of where I came, and that's where we are now. So
I think a lot of people watching this can relate, just because, again, in my day to day and your former day to day, I'm sure you heard that story a lot. This is a place based on memories, on nostalgia, on the culture, and I'll say the brand that we have. And it's hard to escape once you've kind of been sucked in. And I mean that in the best possible way. Once you step foot here, it's really hard to leave. And it's hard to picture yourself not coming back. So that's awesome. Now, in your job as Director of Client Relations and being in the title industry for 5 years, it's kind of a black box to people. As we go through transactions, when I get to that question of who do you want to use for title, there's often a blank stare of like, well, what does that even mean? What do they do? So in simple terms, what do you do, and why is it important for a buyer or somebody working with you to make the right choice?
Well, I mean, basically what we do, we pretty much do a research paper on your property. I mean, that's really the best way to explain it. You kind of go through the whole history of the property, and basically what title insurance does. It really protects your most valuable asset. Your home. Most people have most of their income wrapped up in their house, and title insurance protects you against any future claims against it. Like easements, property line issues. Basically, make sure that you own your property fully, and that's really what we do. We really protect your most valuable asset. As it relates to like mortgage, like you have to have title insurance if you're getting a mortgage, because they won't provide you with the financing without that, because they also want their financing protected with title insurance. So
that makes sense. That makes perfect sense. And I have a funny little personal story about why this is so important. When I bought the house that I'm in now, our closing got held up because the title search found that there was a tideland claim. I'm back in Marion Park, it's built on marshland. And they saw on one of the maps that there was a dried up creek bed underneath, and the sellers had no idea but they had
Mhm.
title insurance. So
Yes.
they ended up handling that after the fact through the title policy that they had when they bought their place like 20 years ago, whatever it was. And that saved the day for them, for
I
sure.
mean, that example is like absolutely massive, especially down like in the short communities. Because you don't have to be, like you were saying, you don't have to be on the water to have riparian issues with your property. And like you were saying, some people don't know that they have the issues until the title comes up. And I mean, the claims can be sizable. I mean, I've seen
Mhm.
them go up into hundreds of thousands of dollars. And if your property's worth 400,000 and you have to give the state of New Jersey 100,000, I mean, that's a big deal, any way you cut it. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, I mean, title insurance is extremely important um, down on the shore communities.
That's awesome. Now, from a, let's just call it a best case scenario, worst case scenario. What does that look like in your world in a transaction? If something goes super well, what's the best case scenario for somebody?
I mean, honestly, the best case scenario would be really you hear from us as little as possible. The interactions with the agent aren't many, with the buyers are not many, with the sellers. I mean, really to keep the interaction down as low as possible. I mean, our goal is really to provide our customers, with a client experience. And that really means to kind of stay out of their way. I mean, everybody's busy, they have things they want to do. And, the last thing they want to do is be bothered with questions about title insurance, which they're not too interested in knowing anyway. Like they just don't want to be bothered. And that's really our goal. I mean, we just want to really, do the best job for you and not take up any of your time. And that's really the goal.
No, that makes perfect sense. And, a question I've gotten quite a few times throughout transactions or even just in the Facebook group that we have, tips for buying an OCNJ, is about cost, right? There are people during this transaction, your closing costs can add up pretty quickly
Mhm.
on the buy side, and it kind of sneaks up on you. But is there a difference between, let's say, TCJ or another local company or one from out of town? Is there any way that they could save, so to speak, working with one or the other?
No, there isn't. And that's, I think, where a lot of people kind of get confused. Like they'll come in, with an out of town company and be like, I can get, title insurance cheaper, or I can go here and get it cheaper. And that's really not the case. New Jersey, we're state regulated. So I can't charge any more or any less than any other title company in New Jersey. So, I mean, really what you're paying for is service. I mean, that's really what you're paying for. And it's, you want to get your money's worth out of that. I mean, if you're paying,
Mhm.
the same amount as, somebody in Marlton or somebody in North Jersey, you just want to make sure you're getting, the service that you deserve.
Right. And I mean, throwing my own personal opinion into the hat here, if it comes down to it, you have folks who live here locally who have done thousands of transactions locally and have seen all these different issues. They know to look for the riparian potential. They know to look for everything that impacts shore properties,
Mhm.
whereas folks from out of town may not. In their day to day, it's a totally different world. I know we see that with lenders too when it comes down to a duplex being a condo and the hiccups that can come with that. So if anybody out there is in the process of considering or choosing a title company, I would definitely keep that in mind, knowing that you're paying the same price no matter where you go. And it's all about ensuring that you do get the best service. You do work with the most knowledgeable folks when it comes to protecting your biggest asset. And I think TCJ is obviously a great option. They have a very long history here of phenomenal service and really excelling at what they do. So my last and final question for you, I don't want to take up too much of your time, is if there's one thing that you could share with people that you wish they knew, whether it's about you, about title work, what would that be?
I think for title work, I think is the title is extremely labor intensive. I mean, our internal staff puts in an incredible amount of hours. I mean, it's pretty unbelievable the amount of hours that the staff puts in to provide a good experience for everyone. Um, that's really one of the most important things because it's honestly, I kind of think is like title is almost like it's almost like a sausage factory kind of like concept. Like nobody really wants to know like how it's made. They just want to know that it like tastes good at the end.
Mm,
And I mean, title, I mean, it's a lot of work and it's labor intensive, and you really have to be, really well versed in like everything that we were talking about. I mean, the women in our staff, I mean, 30 years, 25 years, the attorney in our office, 25 years. I mean, these people are experts in the local issues, and they know what they're doing, and it makes a big difference, a big difference. So Yeah,
I
I
know
mean
there's got to be a lot of work going into the textbooks that you guys hand out at closing in the folder that comes. I mean, that thing is thick with
yes,
information.
yep, yep. And you need to have people that know what they're doing. I mean,
Mm,
you really do. I mean, that's why I'm here with TCJ, working with them. Working with them for 12 years in real estate, and they're the best. I mean, we're the best, I should say. And we provide an excellent service, and we just kind of hope everyone takes advantage of that because they're paying the same price no matter what. So, you know,
that's awesome.
yeah.
Well, hey, I appreciate you taking some time out of your busy day to come on here and share everything with us that you shared. Now, where can the audience find you? How can they contact you? Website, social media, anything like that that you want to point them towards?
Yeah, I mean, first, I mean, you can, my cell phone, it's 609 and, I'm available at any time, text, call, also social media like Instagram. I'm on there as TCJ Brent. You can find me on there.
Awesome.
And Facebook, I also have a business page, and it's Brent Kolmer Title Insurance and Title Company Jersey. So very easy to
Awesome.
find, always available, and always willing to help. So
Good, good, awesome. And I will make sure that I put all of that down below in the notes in the description so that everybody has all of that handy. But again, Brent, thank you so much for taking some time to be on our show today. And I am sure I will be talking to you over the next few days as we have a couple deals coming up to a close.
well, great. I really appreciate being on. Thank you.
All right, we'll talk soon, man.
Thank you.